Here is the strongest comp on patch 13.10 and how you should play them. In the S tier we have Renegade Jhin, Oxforce TF, and Hard Lulu. In the A tier we have Duelist Infiniteam, Mascot Vex, Lasercorps Warwick, and Gadgeteen Gnar. Hard Flex and Jax Hacker, since Jax just got a buff, and the comp that won the Chinese regionals was also a Jax Hacker comp, which only have been played in China so far. So Renegade Jhin is more or less the same as the last patch. You will in the most situations play it in one of two ways. Either you go for 3 or 5 Renegades. First option will be that we play Jhin, Vex, Pyke, and Viego as the core, and then we have 3 other slots open. And you kinda have to play a tank like Echo, and then you can add in Azul for anti-heal and Morgana with static shift. So the reason why that everyone is running static shift on Morgana is that her passive procs with static shift, meaning that we can use that combo for a stronger early game, and you can also skip Last Whisper on Jhin and give him another item. The other variation is 5 Renegades, and here you will add in Leona and Camille instead. You will most likely give items to Jhin first, then tank items on Echo, and then healing AP items on Viego, Leona, or Azul, depending on what comp you play and what units you hit. I have already made a full video on this comp, so if you want to watch that one, I can put it in the comments. Hero augments is both of Leona's, carry, Jhin, and support Camille, but there is a lot more that you can use. This is just the best ones. Alright, next up we have Oxforce TF. Been played almost since the start of the set. 4 Oxforce, 4 Spellslinger. So mainly you want to get your items on TF first. Go for static shift first if you can. And then you can play most items, but Gunblade, Guardbreaker, Giant Slayer, Rageblade is all really good. Nico can use most AP and mana items, but a good idea will be to go for Sojian. And here you can put anything from Guardbreaker to Morello for anti-heal. Just give her 1 mana item and 2 damage items. You can also consider putting items on Viego if you hit a 2-star early instead of Nico. Tank items should go on Annie, but if you hit a Echo 2-star early, you can put items on him instead. Hero augments is Annie support or both of TF's hero augments. I have also made a guide on this comp, so if you want to watch that, I put that in the comment as well. Next up we have Lulu Heart. This is a reroll comp, so you have to make a 5 lose streak early. When you hit stage 3-1, you want to do a big roll down and get as many of the units as you can. If you're contested, you can consider rolling all the way down to 0, but in the best case we are only rolling down to 20 to 30 gold and slow rolling at stage 3. Once you hit all your 1 cost to 3-star, you can consider going for a 3-star Lee and Malphite as well, or push your levels. This is mostly about how close you are to 3-star and how many others is holding your units. When you have started leveling up, you should add in 5-cost units or units from Aegis if it's an AP lobby. Mainly look for items like Spark on Pantheon, Blue Buff and Gunblade on Lulu, and after you have that you can put more tank items on Pantheon and then a 3rd item on Lulu, since Lulu already one-shots with 2 items. Else you can give Sona a Blue Buff and other random items on Gangplank. When it comes to augments, Axiom is insanely good and makes Lulu one-shot over and over. But for hero augments, Malphite support is the best one. Then Lulu carry, then Pantheon carry, and always consider taking economy augments as well. Next up we have Duelist. If you're new or have no idea what's going on, you should play Duelist, since there's always a way that you can play them. One thing in common for all the different Duelist comps is that you want Locket on Neela. This is your bread and butter. So the main thing is that Duelist is scaling up and we need time to make that happen. We need a front line. So always play Locket on Neela. Okay, so the first one we look at is Kayle. And if you want to play Kayle, you have to have the hero augment for her. Put Deathblade and Last Whisper +1. Make sure she's 3-star and items for her and Neela, then we are good to go. Yasuo is the only one that need a bit different comp. Of course you need his hero augment, but here you also want to play supers as well, since his damage is coming from his spell. He is still playable even after the nerf, and if possible you want yourself to have this crit combo items. But else just think QSS, healing and damage. Then we have Fiora. I'm not the biggest fan of this one, but if you get a lot of Fiora units early, you can play with Titans QSS +1. I prefer Warmong. Items again on Neela, but that's it. Make sure to get her to 3-star, and the same for Yasuo and Kayle and everyone else in this comp. That is the carry. Next one, Spreadshot Vayne, one of the most popular ones. Of course, her hero augment. Add Deathblade, Infinity Edge, and Sojian. Get her to 3-star at level 7, and you are good for at least a top 4. TF is probably not the best one to carry a duelist comp, but he is a good top 4 if you get many duelists early and have a Locket. Then you can just play for tempo and add items on TF and Vayne. Alright, next up is Infiniteam. You kinda have to have the emblem, but what you want to play is the full Infiniteam plus Garen and Samira. Emblem on Garen, make a copy of him and make a copy of Ezreal in the background. If you get a Ezreal 2-star, you can make him the carry, but else let Samira do all the hard work. Infinity Edge on Samira is again useful, it have been fixed, so you can play that on her no problem. If you end the game at level 8, you should play this board, but if you get to level 9, you can take out Pantheon and Lucian and add in Urgot and Fiddle. Of course, Infiniteam Chest is one of the greatest ones for this one, but when it comes for hero augments, you can almost play anything. Ezreal, Samira, and Severe is all very popular. Next up we have Mascot Vex. You should play this version if you have Mascot emblem. Roll on level 7 for Vex, Pike, Malphite, and even Morgana, if not contested. Blue buff and Archangel on Vex, +1 damage item. I'm a little biased to play Aatrox with emblem as well. Put Warmong and Spark instead of Morgana, since Aatrox is super strong with healing and health. I've already made a full video on this comp as well, so if you want to learn more about this comp, you can watch that video. Next we have Gnar with Gadgeteens. We already know this comp, it have been nerfed just a little bit more, but it's still playable. Then we add in Echo for pranksters and add in Sona and Morgana with Shift. Put bruiser items on Gnar like Bloodthirster and Titans +1. Shift of course go on Morgana, and AP mana items on Sona. If you get yourself an emblem, you should put it on Sona and remove Poppy and adding in Alistar. If you get this going and get Gnar to 3-star, you can be contested for top 1. And one thing to mention is that you shouldn't get too stuck on level 7 rolling. Go level 8 before it's too late and put in Echo. And it's also easier to hit Nunu. Hero augment, Gnar's carry is the best one for sure versus his support one. But if you can get Nunu's They See Me Rolling, take that one, since it's super good to hit Nunu at stage 4. Alright, Lasercorps Warwick. You need to play all the lasers. If you get an emblem, it's really good. It's more of a top 4 comp if you don't have it. If you hit your units early, you can play this as a good tempo comp. Make sure again to have Shift on Morgana instead of using Last Whisper on your carry. Put Edge of Night on Warwick, +2 damage/tank items like Titans and Hurricane, but you can use most items to be fair. Late game you need to have damage on Mordekaiser, and early game you kinda have to build Sunfire Cape, Spark and similar items on a 2-star Renekton, and you can also put ADE attack speed items on Ashe to make sure you have a strong early game. Later you can put your items from Ashe over to Warwick, and if you're lucky you get the hero augment for Warwick called Big Data, which is probably the best one. Alright, the second to last comp I want to talk about is the new Chinese Jax Hacker. For you who don't know, China have been the best region at TFT for a long time, and they have just had their big tournament. And the comp that won was of course something we haven't seen before, a Jax Hacker comp. And in this patch, Jax have just been buffed. The comp is of course the 3 hackers. Then you will add in a Jax 3-star, we will have Wukong and Garen for mech, and then we can add Riven for 4 defenders, and at level 8 and 9 you can just put in 5 cost units like Fiddle and Urgot. The items that was used in this comp was Gauntlet, QSS and Gunblade on Jax. Almost everyone was in the backline but Shen, and Shen had a Stoneblade and Protector's Vow, and you should probably put 1 more tank items on him. Send Jax to the backline, straight on to their carry. The very last comp is Hard Flex. Play 4 hard units with Sona as the main carry, then you will add Oxforce and Spellslinger from Annie, and add Morgana and Azul and Echo. If you can't get Sona to 3-star, You can add items on Azul instead and play her as a carry. Tank items should go on Echo and put him in the backline so he can scale up before he even casts his first ability. So far, I have almost only made guides on specific comps. If you want to see more tier lists on every patch like this one, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next guide.